everybody who listened to Death Row or any of the artists, they had the gangster persona and the gangster affiliations. Was obviously Suge Knight was real. Was Dre real? Was Snoop real?
I think Snoop grew into his gangsterness.
Okay.
I think it was just part of the show.
Mm-hmm. Now you say grew into it while he was on Death Row?
Right.
Okay.
While as he matured into his music.
Okay. Because
he
was
found
Crip.
out. Right. He's still a Crip. But he just really he did his thing. But they all took classes from Suge Knight.
Mm.
Their lessons came from Suge.
Mm.
They learned how to do the way they act and talk from Suge.
Mm.
Suge you wouldn't have never thought he was scared of anybody.
Mm.
But I'm not going to say that he was the smartest man in the camp.
Mm. Mm. Pop, was that the same way?
Very loyal guy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't never see his smart mouth side. I always tell people if Pac was alive, he would be dropping them beats, them hits left and right. So I know he's not alive.
Yeah.
But they all have enough money to make anything happen.
The reason I asked Pac, Pac is from Baltimore.
Right.
Well, lived in Baltimore, from New York, Baltimore. He's been a little bit everywhere, Oakland. But he went to a performing arts school in Baltimore along with Jada Pinkett Smith. So some people knew of him in Baltimore, when he was younger. And, he was with Digital Underground, right. Far from Gangsta. You know what I mean? So then all of a sudden, he gets with, and even his album before getting on Death Row wasn't a gangster album,
right?
So it's just like then he gets with Suge, and then he starts.
He turns into a little monster,
right? Mm-hmm. So,
but that was only when he was around Suge.
I was about to ask that. So, how much of the influence came from Suge?
I think a lot of that when he was out and he go into the Tupac mode, because most of the time when we see Tupac, he had his little book. Mm-hmm. He was a reader. Mm-hmm. And he stayed up on what he liked to read. That Machiavelli was something that he was serious about.
Yeah, because it seemed like Pac had, we all have, our moods when we have two sides to us.
It's two sides to every single story for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Some more extreme than others.
Right.
But Pac had that militant power to the people side.
Right.
And then he had that side that we just spoke of.
Right.
Which more you think was more authentic, more Pac?
His militant side. Mm. And like the incident that occurred in New York with him, with the girl.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That wasn't him. I literally hung with him because he, like I said, he kind of, I looked up and he liked my wings. Mm-hmm. And he was close to a friend of mine. So, but he never stepped out of line. He never was disrespectful. And I asked him that the question of, Pac, why y'all got to call everybody the B word? Right. He's like, because that's how they be acting with Simone. Mm-hmm. It was never Simone. Mm-hmm. It was Miss Simone.
Yeah, yeah.
So we had a mutual friend that once I left Death Row Records, Tupac would send me messages from time to time until he died.
Yeah, and it's funny you talk about the B word, and you said how, because I asked earlier, like how they treated you, at Death Row, being a lady, and the way they came across publicly, but you said they treated you with the utmost respect because you demanded that respect.
Right.
Okay, and they made that music, and it wasn't for that B word and what they call women. Well, it wouldn't, women in general, it's just those who acted that way.
That way.
It's kind of similar to, like, we say cracker a lot on the show. Now, we don't mean all white people, but there's certain white people that fit that criteria.
Exactly.
So you don't get offended by it if you're not that.
Right. And if you are a bitch,
if you're a bitch,
you're a bitch.
That's right. And then the
But they come in male too.
Yeah, and it's three words: BAN. I can't say it. We can't say it online on the air, but you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of them too.
Right.
So, but if it fits, they say if you throw a quarter out in the crowd, and if it hits somebody and they scream, then it was meant for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you don't scream, it wasn't meant for you.
Right.
Yeah. One of the things that because again, we want you to go out and get this book, please. Time Served. It's on Amazon. Time Served: My Days and Nights on Death Row Records. Miss Simone Green.